Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome everyone to Getting Your Voice Heard, Part 2. Now, if you remember, we talked about the importance of listening the last time. And indeed, we're going to continue on that theme today because it's really important to look at, well, how do we really listen, don't we? It's important to raise some awareness on that if we're actually going to get our voice heard. So, how do most of us listen? Have you thought about that? Most of us listen at what we call level 1. And that means that we're actually listening to get something out of the conversation for ourselves. We usually have a motivation to get into an important conversation, don't we? We either want our spouse or our child or a family member to do something for us, or sometimes in a sales scenario, we're trying to sell to a client, so we're getting into a conversation in regards to that. Even with friends, sometimes we just want our friends to listen to us and support us and value our side of the story, isn't it? So a lot of times we're actually listening and getting into a conversation to get something out of it for ourselves. But what happens in those conversations a lot of the time? Well, sometimes we can interrupt the other person, or we are pretending to maybe listen, but not really. We're listening to their words, but we're really not getting what they're saying. And sometimes the person ends up repeating themselves again and again. Or maybe they even say, forget it. Or the conversation isn't successful. And sometimes we're planning what we're going to say before we've even gotten into the conversation. I wonder if you can relate to any of these things. Now, if you can, then more than likely you're actually listening at level 1. And that's really not going to support us in getting to the next step, in really being heard in a way that the other person feels valued and we feel valued as well. So the first thing to do is to really become conscious of how you listen, right? And the next time you feel inclined to interrupt the person, stop. Stop right then and there and avoid any and all interruptions in the conversation. Allow the person to finish, even if it's something that you don't like that they're saying. Just allow them to finish, take a breath, and then respond. And before you get into a conversation, even where you want something, make sure that you make your plan just to listen and not to convince the person of something. So let's recap on the tips. A, be conscious. 2, avoid interruptions at all costs. And 3, just plan to listen and hear them out, whatever they say. So these tips will help you to get to another deeper level of listening. Good luck, and we'll talk about listening again soon. Bye.